Good morning, everybody. I hope you all had a great weekend. It was nice here, nice and quiet, a lot of meditation, a lot of contemplation, all those good things. So I hope everyone's in a good mood this morning. Let's see who we have here today. I should say so far. So here we have Chase. Good morning. Cavell, hello. Carol Swisher, good morning to you. Hope Molly's feeling better. Barbara Ward, good morning. Anik, hope you're not too cold way over there. And this is Chase again. Okay. So we're going to bring in everybody, and then I do have a couple things that I wanted to go over with everybody. So we're going to call in the Blessed Mother and Father to come and sit with us. And if you're starting to work with that, to bring them down into your heart from the great central sun. And we'll call and reach out to all the angels, all the phylums of the angels, and all the ascended masters to come and join us at our meeting with the hierarchy. Very good. Now let's say our mantra. I am the soul. I am the light divine. I am love. I am will. I am fixed design. I would hope that some of you are beginning to actually feel that energy. First thing I wanted to speak about was consciousness. And someone asked me, how do you know where people are about consciousness? Well, the best answer I can give you, the way consciousness shows itself is with a greater light. So as their light grows, you should be able to sense their light, feel their light. You'll see mine does a lot of fluctuation. A light should be present that's radiating from the heart. And the more you grow, the greater expansion that heart has, that light has, and the level of awareness it raises individuals to. Okay? So my first look, I can tell where someone's at, how they've gotten to there, where they need to go. And the journey is in process or beginning or whatever you want to call it. So people can say that they're at levels of consciousness. Of course, we all can. But you'll hear it in the love you feel and in the light that you see and sense, the vibration that you get. It's not just about words. The experience of moving through ascension, any of those things are dependent on where you hold your heart and how radiant that heart is, and non-judgmental, non-criticizing, harmless, kindness. All those things are important. It's not just bingo and you're ascended. That's a lot of work to have to achieve within a soul to be able to live that way every day. It's not, oh, today I'll put my hat on and I'll be a high consciousness. So one way I haven't mentioned on this, good morning, Christina, conversation was that everyone has a library of light. And what is that? I'm going to explain it to you. It sits up above the front of the crown, and throughout all your lifetimes exists there. So let's say, and it is about the development of consciousness. It is like a church, and there are pews on either side that hold 7. And every time that you get 7 pews held with 7 people, um, you lift a level of consciousness. So how do you know what they are? There is a place in the TheoSophia that does describe them. Level 33 is a huge shift. So what do I mean by these pews and all that? So what you all maybe don't know is the unique amount of beings that are around you helping you. So let's include your totems. And remember, this has been happening throughout lifetimes. It's not just this life. So let's say you have a wolf and a bear, and maybe you have Kuan Yin, a different kind of teacher about healing. But if you get to where you have 7 in activity at this moment, 7 depth, 7 times 7, 49, then you raise a level of consciousness. Why is that? Because anyone who comes to you to teach you has come to you to teach you something specific, something that is a part of what is necessary for you to have along your path to grow. So I think what it does is help all of you understand it's not just an overnight thing. Not that I thought you did, but there's a lot to it. It also, down the center, will have a library of information and books that you can ask your consciousness when you awake to that level to show you everything it knows about meditation. And it may not know everything, but I assure you that if you're here sitting listening to me, you have been and delved deeply into meditation before. So it's a way to find out information about who you've been in other lifetimes and what you've studied. But also, if you can let your consciousness become awake. And this is a combination of sight and consciousness, and be able to be perceiving this library of light and the pews. And perhaps you have a red bird sitting in that pew. Well, you and I might not know exactly what would a red bird teach, but it's about flight, it's about survival, a lot of things. So this is something I wanted to share with you today. You can certainly ask me questions. Maybe some of you have seen it or heard about it. It has nothing to do with the Akashic Records. I did share it with someone, and they then made a CD about the Akashic Records. That isn't what it is. It's about your experience of the Library of Light. And it's about consciousness and how you begin to observe your consciousness growing. So let's say all of a sudden you recognize, well, wow, I have 7 pews, and there's 7 beings in each pew. What is it about your thinking that's different? What is it about how you live in life that has changed? And when you knew and settle yourself down in your root, how does your light feel different? Because that's what's going to happen. That's when you get that surge, that there's a greater light when you're holding 7 times 7. It's in a number of books it's talked about how that increases your consciousness and brings it up another level. So, any questions about that from anybody? Sometimes questions help even others understand what I mean when I'm talking about it. The other thing I wanted to talk about, tomorrow is a new moon. I don't know. I know I get busy. I happened to see it this morning. New moon is very powerful. Again, we're going to go back to, and what do you believe? I actually uh, wished for the husband I have now through the new moon. I thought I was working on the husband I had, and I didn't put a name on it. So it's very powerful. Depends again on your clarity and what you believe and what do you do. Well, you want to take positive thoughts, speak them as if it's already happened. Like, I'm in love with a man and he's respectful and spiritual. That's what it is right now. Or I earn $50 million a week or a month or whatever. You want it as if it's happened. I own 1,000 pairs of shoes. Whatever it is in your world. And if you want to ask about your path, you can do that also. Again, I see clearly. I see patterns. I'm open to receive that which people need to heal. There's a lot of ways to support yourself as you work with the new moon. So you want to have either an aluminum can if you want to burn them outside. You can always rip them up and destroy them in a different way inside. But you release it to grandmother moon. I used to put some cornmeal and might have been regular flour in an aluminum can and take it outside and just put a little match to it. It doesn't last long because you put them all in a little paper. But where is your heart when you're doing that? Don't ask for something that you believe is impossible. It'll be impossible to come. You want to have a dream or a statement that you're just knowing it's coming. It must be about your belief, even if it takes 5 years. If you put it out every new moon, it will come. Okay? Good morning, Kathy. I really appreciate you all coming, and I hope that makes sense to everybody. Let me see, where are we at? So we're early yet. So does anybody have any questions about either the Illuminations of Light Library or working with the new moon tomorrow? And while you're thinking, if you have a question, I want you all to attempt to perceive your own energy field. And how far out does it move? Is it to here? Or does it radiate out from your heart and around you? How does it feel? What does it touch? Good morning, Marby. How are you today? It was wonderful talking to you last week. Remember, we're starting again today, making our list up for a free half-hour reading. I put everybody's name in, and we'll pull one on Thursday. So I guess I should be writing down, right? Okay. Can you tell how far around your aura is? When people start school, I'll say, when I see you come in and your aura is out and about you, then you've achieved something. Because to walk in this world and not be seen, and to not have your light doing something, it's not just your thoughts. Your thoughts reflect themselves in the light you hold. You want to be radiating good. She says she's good. When you're out in the world. So, has anyone heard of the Library of Light before? I know it takes a few minutes to write. And take a notice, what color is your aura? Is it many colors? Because your actual aura is many colors. And then there's a point that it will become some solid colors. Another way to also to have a clue into where you are. And in a moment, I'm going to take everyone in and expand your auras and see if you feel a difference. Mm-hmm. No questions. It's so fascinating to me. I'm a teacher that likes questions because then you can have me end up going and Mother talking about anything. Yes, Barbara has heard about the Library of Light, but only now beginning to understand it from your teaching today. Thank you. Yes, it's a very brilliant experience, no matter who you are, because your light experience from other lifetimes will be there. And it also enhances a part of the wisdom that's in your heart. And when I reached the level of Mother, I understood that there's not a question that I can't answer because I have the library, but I also have individuals who will bring me back the answer. So you want to be able to hold your center and have access and movement in other ways so that you can be who you're meant to be. Chase, very good. It's a powerful thing. So let's see if anyone has any questions, and then I'm going to take you through actually experiencing your own. And I don't want any of you to forget tomorrow because it's such a good opportunity to work with Grandmother Moon and put down things you desire to support where you want to go and who you want to be in the world. I have never heard of the Library of Light. Is it like the Akashic Records? No. The Akashic Records are like everything you speak is being written. And that's what's in the Akashic Records. I don't know if any of you have ever thought to read the Akashic Records. It's quite an experience. And you have a person that goes in the Akashic Records and finds your answer. No, that's not what this is. This is more a storage of your experience of light, not of everything. It's not going to have karmic things there, which the Akashic Records you use to help you heal karma, to release karma. Two different things. Like if I go to, let me see. Oh, she's saying thank you. Yeah, two different things done two different ways. The illumination, the Library of Light is yours. It moves with you. It's always with you. The Akashic Record has a certain way you need to get in that has secrets to it. And you can ask a few questions. And the last I've looked, it all depends on how your perception is. Everything's computerized anymore. You don't think that just our world taps into that. But they have people who will go through the computer and look up where you're at and have your answer. The Akashic, your library of light is just there for you. It's a lot of light. There's a lot of books. Let's be honest, most of you don't know what you've studied before, who you've been. Maybe you've been a monk a number of times, or a nun, or whatever it could be. And there's a part of you that all those beings that helped you in that life, there's a record there of that. And very different than the Akashic. Anik says, did I understand that right? I have to repeat my wishes for many times at new moon? No, I did not say that. You may have to, if you didn't get what you wanted the first time you mentioned on a new moon, then you can ask it again on another new moon. I don't know if that's what you're asking. But you don't have to repeat them that night. You can write them down, rip it all up, and dispose of it to Grandmother Moon. Let me know if you understand me this time. Annie speaks French, so she doesn't always. That's why she's asking. No, you can write them down. Just put them out. And I usually would wait till it was dark. I don't know if it's going to show the moon tonight. We've had a couple hazy nights here. So we're all different all around the world. And it's interesting when you think about it, the time at night is different for all of us. So anybody else with any other questions? All right. So I want you to be thinking, how do you feel your aura? You want to enliven your hands. Okay, she understood. So they'll feel. And I want you to start them in front of your heart. And slowly reach your hands out. And all of a sudden, when you reach the edge of your aura, you're going to feel the energy change. It may be cool. It could be quieter. You'll begin to sense a frequency. Whatever it is. Why am I asking you to do that? Because now we're going to do a process and you're going to see how it will enhance and expand and lift the particle spin in your field so that you'll have a higher consciousness. Even if it's for a few moments, you'll be able to feel and see differently with your heart. Okay? All right. So we have already here everybody in the room. So we're going to call the light of God down through us from the great central sun. And it'll come down to the opening of the crown and come down gently through us. All the way to the root. And then we'll drop down into the energy of Mother. So just let that flow for a moment. Because if you felt your energy was here, it's going to be far expanded just by adding that pure light of God into your energy. And you may enjoy that so much that you want to start doing that every day. And you can call that in as many times a day as you want. Right. Yeah, I can feel my crown tingling. Must be a lot of you are feeling that. Just breathe and let the energy expand. I am willing to feel my aura. I'm willing to sense my light. Good. Let me just make sure you can hear me. Great. And you might even begin to feel yourself really vibrate, or maybe some of you are getting hot. Breathe in and breathe out. And then see if you can focus on letting light move through your heart out into our energy here in the group. What color? Let's imagine a gold or a clear. Oh, that cracks. Thank you. And some of you may not realize how confined your aura is as you walk around. But as you start working with it, even before you go to bed, expand it. Ask all your angels to come around you and do your protections. And then you're going to sleep so profoundly. Oh, good morning, Yolanda. How are you? I haven't seen you for a while. All right. So now we've experienced the expansion of your aura. You don't have to worry about all the different 7 levels and the colors. This is just calling forth from the great central sun, the light of God, down through your channel and move into your heart and just let it expand. That's all. Simplicity. There's those other reasons that then we begin to learn the different levels of the field, and that's all when you come to do healing. If people only could understand more that healing is just dependent on the aura and the chakras. That's where it happens. All right. So great being with you here. Great. I'm glad you're here also. So I want you to look directly up, off from your channel, up above you, and you'll see this brilliant light. And if you don't, it's fine. Just feel that energy. And it's going to be like, I can describe mine. Yours may be different. I have huge, big arched doors that are in gold. And I can walk in. Now on the right, I have a room that's like a conference room. For instance, if I call in other angels and teachers, that's where we would meet to talk. But also, as I can go up, yours could have an elevator. We can look out overlooking all the pews, seeing various faces of people who sit in your pews, who have helped you raise consciousness. And then if you turn to your left, most of the left side is a lot of different books. Some of the greatest books to have and to be able to become awake enough to grab them and to read them are ancient books from like in the 20s and 30s and the 40s, and how they all began to learn about the masters and the light. It was quite a powerful time. And about laws, the karmic board, all the different beings. But you see, there's so much here you have within yourself. So let's say if you want to pick a book and you want to have a nice area there to sit and relax, it's right off to your right, above the level where we looked out over the pews. So the first thing I would do, if I were you, is I'd go down to where the pew of today is and see, is there anyone sitting there? Is there anyone you know you've been working with? Well, to be honest, I'm probably sitting there. as I'm desiring to share with you and help you learn some of the things I've learned. Jesus is probably sitting there, and as you receive and listen to some of the things he says, your consciousness is raising. You see, that's how it works. And there may be other people in your life or other beings, depending on your awareness in your journey. Maybe an angel, maybe a teacher, maybe a monk that have come and that are sitting in those pews. But every time it becomes 7, a new pew comes forward. And when those 7 pews backwards, 7, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, it clears out and goes up to where we saw the overview because you have raised a level of consciousness. And if you've been on your path, you know how there are some times when you can feel something's changed. I'm different. Well, that's good. We want you to become different a lot of times. See? Not just one big difference, a lot of different levels of the pews. And that's what your own consciousness is keeping track of. All right. So now we have our aura expanded. And we want to go into the root and know we're safe expanding. And it's going to bring us a greater vitality and a well-being. And allow your toes to go very deep into the earth. Circling around and around and around. Excellent. Very good. So a statement for your new moon could be, I see my aura clearly and learn from it. I work with my chakras daily and let them speak to me. Not let them, I'm sorry. And they speak to me. Powerful. Now, how many of you can feel how different you are right now? That you've let the light of God fill you up to expand you out. Chase says, my hands are vibrating. I will do this every day. And I hope you could see, I always put my palms up when I'm working with Father and Mother. It's just an honoring. Excellent. Anybody else? Or how did the Library of Light look to you? Could you see it? It doesn't have to be the first time. But we're just talking about getting the engine moving, right? There's so much that you probably are not aware of. That's there for you, specifically you. First off, knowing Mother and Father's there, always with you. And they're willing to come and be in your heart with you. That is the one relationship that is, I hate to use the word requirement, but things will come differently if you get to where you have a deep understanding in a relationship with both Mother and Father. Because then you found a deep relationship within yourself, you see? Excellent. Camille has warmth in her palms. She saw blue light. Well, what we know about blue light, Chase, if you want to know, have you heard that there's 7 rays of the Elohim? And the first ray is a blue light that has Hercules. Okay, let me see. My hands are vibrating too. I feel very expanded and not sure if this is the right word, spacious. We'll let that word go. But I want to make sure you're all rooted, because when we're done, I don't want you to walk around like, ugh. Get that energy down below your root. So Chase, the blue light is the strength of Hercules. And it's the decision to do. When God came to the Elohim, the 7 of them, he asked for them to create our solar system. So the first thing that had to happen is someone had to decide to do it. And that was El Morya and the Hercules with the blue ray. It's about the will. Are you willing? And if you've ever studied anything about healing, the first thing you must become is willing to let go, willing to hear about what's going on inside you. The will, the blue collar, is known to be the most difficult collar of the Elohim to work with if it's a life ray. Because think of how willful we are already, and to have to change that can be challenging. But it's all good. We all have to do it at some point. Okay. Hi, TheoSophia. Oh, hi, Gina. Glad you made it today. We're having a powerful session here. Let's see. All right. You'll have to go back and listen to hear it all. So someone's asking me about what's the other rays. The second ray is illumination. It's yellow. And it's perception. And it's the ray that next they had to perceive what the solar system would look like. Well, what is it we need to make? Now, the third ray is from Orion, and it was love. And they all knew first they had to love it. So blue ray said, I'm willing to do it. The yellow ray said, well, I'm going to illuminate it and make the perception as pure as I can. And then there was love. The fourth ray is white. It's clarity. And the job, I can't remember exactly the name of that person, Clara maybe, made it very clear of exactly what they were doing. Good, Marby. Then the fifth ray, I got the chills because someone's going to speak to a lot of you. It was a green ray. It's the healing ray. And the healing came in to create from the first 4 what was necessary. And we go to number 7 next. You'll learn if you work with anything with the Elohim. Number 6 is always last, and I'll tell you when I get there. But number 7 is the violet ray. The next thing they did is bring the violet flame up through the solar system to clear any karma, to burn away any illusion, to really bring another level of purification and the ministration laws. Now the final color is the 6th ray, the ruby, red, and gold. We talked about it the other day. And the word's peace. Remember, we used it when we were working with the world. And maybe you can feel the hush of that energy, of that ray. It's just profound. But when you go through all 7, and there's a certain way to do it, and you begin to work your body towards being acclimated, it's very powerful. So I guess you got introduced to a few new things today. And I hope some of you will want to know more. And we'll just keep going. So we're going to say thank you to Mother and Father and all the angels and all the masters. And Master DK is who brought me my understanding through the healing school to teach. Master Babaji is known to be as a father to me. I teach the meditation technique of Master Babaji. And a lot of other people. But they're my two closest. And you'll have your two closest, and they'll be purposeful. That's for you. It's not about it being mine. We're all different, and yet we're all one. And the sooner that we learn that we're all going to be in a different way, achieving what we're meant to be, then there's no jealousy. It's not about defining yourself, it's about loving you and being in acceptance. And when you can begin to accept that, yeah, there's energy here and it does flow through me, and I can become more awake all the time, every day, that's an amazing thing. And that's huge, even though it's like a few thoughts. So it all will bring magic to you. So tonight, work on those lists, and let's see what it brings about. And I'll see you tomorrow at 11. Let's see. Thank you, too, for coming, everybody. Well, you know, the teachings become more when you're ready. When you're ready. Don't know if you thought about that or not. When the student is ready, the teacher will come. And the teacher will teach. All right. Many blessings. Love to everybody. Feel your hearts today. Many blessings.